This is Artifact 11, Standard 6.2, Criterion 20, Manage the use of technology for learning in a non-traditional classroom setting. A new club at our school, the Computer Science Club, was offered to 8th graders through 12th graders in Paulding County. Because this was a newer club, we started programming in very small steps where students got more and more comfortable with coding and with how the computer process works. So as they became acquainted with the Scratch interface, they were getting more comfortable with it. And so we needed to make sure that we set guidelines, parameters that they needed to follow. What we did is first thing is we created along with that followed in alignment with the Paulding County technology use, a contract that students had to sign along with their parents to make sure that they were using the technology appropriately. This contract and the rules were provided also on our Canvas page for the club, where students would also see step-by-step directions on how to start their Scratch stories, as well as any troubleshooting techniques that they may need to follow in case they run into any problems and need assistance. Because this was a hybrid club where we would meet both in person as well as online, students needed, if they needed assistance, they would have it through the troubleshooting techniques. We would also meet together and collaborate together to see what problems arose and then go from there to fix any issues that may have arisen. We also offered Hour of Coding to show students step-by-step processes of creating their sprites on the Scratch interface. To ensure that students were on task and stayed engaged with the activities, there were assigned adult supervisors to monitor the technology use while in person, and then also they were taught digital citizenship to make sure that they were staying safe online, preventing any cyberbullying, and have responsible technology use. They were also partnered with other club members to help each other to stay motivated and stay engaged as well. This is Artifact 11, Standard 6.3, Criterion 21, Create opportunities for students to use a design process and/or computational thinking. For the newly founded Computer Science Club in Paulding County for grades 8 through 12, we followed the creative play design process as a way to introduce coding to students in a fun and interactive way, where we followed each step of inspire, imagine, build, play, and share to help students to get the inspiration that they need to find creative ways of designing their digital storytelling through Scratch. Students were encouraged to play with different effects, see what they did, experiment to see what they wanted to include in their digital storytelling. Open-ended projects were provided to encourage the imagination process with which they were able to build upon their new ideas. Club members were encouraged to collaborate as well as provide constructive feedback throughout the process of creating their digital storytelling. The completed stories were then shared with peers and stakeholders for feedback. We really encourage students to imagine what they wanted to create and then build upon that. We encourage students to work together on projects, collaborate, provide opportunities to share their ideas. We also provided feedback when they presented their projects to the group and made sure that the feedback that they were given was constructive to encourage them to continue to build on it and then be willing to share their final product. This is Artifact 11, Standard 6.4, Criterion 22, Model and Nurture Creativity. In our newly created 8th through 12th grade Computer Science Club in Paulding County, students were encouraged to create a digital storytelling using Scratch to understand basic programming concepts such as sequencing, loops, conditional statements, and demonstrate their understanding by sharing their project with their class or fellow club members. To encourage creativity, students were not given specific assignments, but rather they were encouraged to go through and play around, experiment with certain features on Scratch, as well as start their ideas of what stories they wanted to share with their classmates. Club members were encouraged to play with certain effects on Scratch, on the Scratch interface, as well as encouraged to look at what features it offered through sound and through automation. And then they were encouraged to collaborate, team up with their club members to share the ideas that they had as they were designing their digital storytelling. For this digital storytelling project, my main goal was to foster creativity and emphasize the process rather than the end product. Hence, all students were free to choose their own topics, select suitable sprites, and decide how they wanted to present their knowledge creatively. Club members would provide constructive feedback to one another throughout the creative play process to ensure that they were telling a story that they wanted to, and one that made sense as well and was entertaining. After this project was completed, club members were encouraged to share their stories through the computer science blog with parents, students, administrators, and other stakeholders to view, as well as to provide constructive feedback.